Have you ever asked yourself how the plateau you are stuck in is serving you? That's a hard question. I remember the first time I was asked that, I was taken aback and frankly quite insulted that I was supposed to be responsible for the terrible situation I was in. And the truth was, the person who asked me the question was right. I was in a situation where I was in massive self-sabotage. I was in a highly toxic relationship with someone who was encouraging me to self-sabotage, and I was happily self-sabotaging to please him. And I was letting myself be in this really chaotic situation and choosing to stay. And I started to realize that I was the person who created the situation. I was the person who was staying in that toxic relationship. I was the one who was subscribing to what was being asked of me. I was the person staying in chaos. And that was a hard revelation. I really had to kick my ego to the curb and take radical responsibility that I was the person who created my success, but I was also the person who created my failure. I was the person who created my plateaus. I was the person who created my chaos. But the beautiful thing is, once I realized that, I could also see a whole pattern of it happening in my history. Whenever I had come up against barriers along the way, there was a huge part that I was part of. Yes, sometimes things happen outside of us, but how we deal with it, how we stay in it, or how we exit the situation is on us. That's where that radical responsibility comes in. And I started to realize, oh my gosh, this pattern has been happening since I was like 9 years old. And it started when I realized that, I could really achieve anything I put my mind to. And I'm not saying that to be egotistical or narcissistic, but I really did have this realization that, if I want this, I can have it. If I want that, I can have it. And if I put in the work, I could make things happen. So I became an overachiever at that age, or a conscious overachiever at that age. And the problem was, everyone else also realized that I had the capacity to be an overachiever. So suddenly it felt like there was all this pressure on me to overachieve. And when the pressure would get too great, then I would somehow invite chaos in. And when chaos would hit, people would back off. People would lay off. I was able to actually take a break and be able to sit back and have people say, oh, it's okay, you take a break. Like, you don't have to gut it out because there's stuff going on in your life. And so that became a pattern of giving myself respite from my overachievement. So every time I was pushing myself too hard, something would happen. A major health crisis would happen. And what would happen was that would allow me to stop, rest for a bit, assess what was going on, and reset my path. And then the next time I bumped up against severe overachievement, something would happen. I would invite chaos into my world, and it would make me stop and rest for a bit, reassess my situation, and adjust my path. And this happened over and over again. And when I look back at my history from 9 years old until even today, I can see that I've been doing this for a long time. I've been doing this for a long time. So there has been this huge history of self-sabotage, a huge history of self-sabotage. And I hadn't realized that chaos, that self-sabotage, those plateaus had been 100% serving me. And when I talk to my clients about this and ask them, okay, this problem that you have, how is that working for you? Literally working for you, working to your favor. At first, they react like I did, insulted. Like, how dare you ask me that? This is happening to me. This is not something I'm in control of. But once they take a step back and get over the initial shock that I asked them something so brazen, then they start to go, oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, it does give me something. Oh, yeah. There's a reason this keeps happening. Oh, yeah, I keep setting myself up for this situation. Oh, yeah, when things go awry, this is what I do. And the beautiful part of that realization, even though it feels like it is a gut punch, is that now you can see it. And once you can see that pattern, you can't unsee it, even if you want to unsee it. But it allows you to, once you start getting into that pattern again, to more quickly realize it, because now you're aware. You have filtered in the ability to see what is happening and why you're doing this. And when it starts to come up, what are the situations that precipitate it? How is it actually serving you? And then you can start burning that away. You can start changing that program so that when those situations come up, you start handling it differently. But until you take that time to step back and go, okay, why does this keep happening? And why is this working for me to do this? Then you're going to keep repeating the pattern. And it's brutal. So many highly accomplished professionals, accomplish a lot with all this crap, all this baggage, all this negative programming that we carry from really a young age with us. And yet we are still able to blast ahead because we have grit. We can gut it out. But once all that is gone, you are unleashed in such an amazing way. You unleash your badass self for profitability to achieve at an exponentially faster rate because you don't have all this stuff holding you up. You don't have this garbage on your shoulders. You don't have these things that are getting in your way and self-sabotaging. You are just free to move ahead and do the things that you want to do with your life. If you are ready to get to that place where you can be unleashed into amazing profitability, into your full potential, I highly encourage you to join the 30-day experience. Now, the program right now is $97. January 1st, the program goes up in price significantly. So if you are wanting to buy it, you can start it whenever you want. But if you want to buy it now and have it ready to start January 1st or start today, you can. It's a self-guided program. But I promise it will, whether you like it or not, you're not going to be able to unsee what has gotten you to where you are today and how you can release that to unleash your badass self for profitability into the future. So make sure you check out the link. Make sure you buy it before January 1st. Otherwise, you won't get such a good deal on it. Until next time, I wish you a very beautiful day, and I hope to see you again very soon.